The Trevor Project's 2022 National Survey on LGBTQ youth mental health found that 45% of LGBTQ youth seriously considered attempting suicide in the past year, including more than half of transgender and non-binary youth. Because of these rising statistics, many people believe that medical law and gender-affirming care are essential to the well-being of the LGBTQ community. Gender-affirming care encompasses a range of social, psychological, behavioral, and medical interventions designed to support and affirm an individual's gender identity when it conflicts with the gender they were assigned with at birth. While some argue that gender-affirming care is essential to the health and well-being of LGBTQ individuals, others view many aspects of gender-affirming care as harmful to the individual, especially with aspects to medical interventions. Medical interventions can include a variety of support to help someone transition. This can include gender affirmation surgery as well as hormone therapy. Gender affirmation surgery is a procedure to help people transition to their self-identified gender. However, surgery is quite expensive and is not always available to everyone. In many cases, gender affirmation surgery is regarded under the definition of a cosmetic surgery and is therefore not covered by health insurance. In addition to gender affirmation surgery, hormone therapy is another common medical intervention used by some people to help them transition. Gender-affirming hormone therapy is when individuals are given estrogen or testosterone-based medications. This helps their body align with their gender identity. Hormone therapy is licensed through a medical provider and can either be done through injections by a medical professional or at home with the correct tools. Gender-affirming care is quite a controversial legal issue, especially when carried out by medical procedures that alter the body to fit a person's gender identity. Those against gender-affirming care, especially with regards to the medical interventions that take place, often view gender-affirming care as unethical and harmful to the individual, especially when that individual is someone under the age of 18. People with these viewpoints usually come from religious backgrounds and have right-leaning politics. Those, however, in favor of gender-affirming care view it as a legal issue, something that should be protected legally as it is a human right. They also argue that banning and restricting gender-affirming care is an act of discrimination against a certain group of people. Because gender-affirming care is a very controversial and complex issue, it illustrates how lawmakers use their personal beliefs and ideas to construct and maintain the medical field as they see fit, especially regarding legal issues. An example of this can be seen with health insurance coverage and gender-affirming care. In a study conducted, only 34 of 51, or 67%, of states' Medicaid programs include gender-affirming hormone therapy, and 25 of 51, or 49%, include gender-affirming surgery as covered benefits. However, in this study, several states did not state their policy regarding coverage of gender-affirming hormone therapy or gender-affirming surgery. 12 of 51 states and 0 of 5 territories featured their policy for gender-affirming hormone therapy in their Medicaid handbook. And according to the study, 26 of 51 states and 0 of 5 territories featured their policy for gender-affirming surgery in their Medicaid handbook. There are currently many laws prohibiting discrimination based on gender identity. However, that does not stop many states from continuing to deny gender-affirming care to individuals. In addition to this, many state policies exclude coverage for any transition-related care. Because many state policies still exclude coverage for transition-related care, many people argue that there is bias and discrimination in the medical field against LGBTQ individuals. Many activists argue that the way to change this is through legal action, in ways which support LGBTQ individuals as they support non-LGBTQ individuals. In recent years, there has been a push, both by activists and members of the LGBTQ community, to support LGBTQ individuals and protect their rights, specifically with regards to gender-affirming care within medical interventions. However, despite this, there have also been a number of proposed legislation that restricts or bans gender-affirming care. In the years 2021 and 2022, several states proposed bills to restrict or ban gender-affirming care for transgender youth specifically. Of these states, bills from Arizona, Alabama, and Arkansas have become law since being proposed. The Arizona bill passed, SB 1138, in 2022, restricted access to gender-affirming care for transgender youth. The bill also stated that medical professionals cannot conduct any transition procedures if the patient is under the age of 18. In addition to this, the bill stated that physicians are also prohibited from referring individuals under the age of 18 to any other healthcare professionals for sex transition procedures. These procedures include hormone therapy and gender affirmation surgery, as earlier discussed. Despite these proposed bills becoming law, many activist organizations and individuals still continue to fight for LGBTQ rights. They argue that gender-affirming care is essential to the health and well-being of LGBTQ individuals, and it is a right that should be protected legally. Because of this, there is a constant back-and-forth fight between lawmakers and activists. There is a common narrative created by lawmakers who are against gender-affirming care that individuals will be harmed, specifically transgender youth, by the medical interventions that are used in gender-affirming care. However, many transgender individuals report feeling discriminated against when they are unable to receive proper care from medical institutions. Despite the common narrative that gender-affirming care can be harmful to the individual, many transgender individuals actually report wanting to go through gender-affirming care. However, they are met with discrimination within the medical field. For example, over 50% of transgender people delay medical care due to prior negative experiences. This also includes fear and mistrust of the healthcare system and payment and insurance barriers. In addition to this, research also illustrates that transgender people, specifically in the United States, experience widespread prejudice, discrimination, violence, and other forms of stigma. Those who support gender-affirming care practices agree that access to health care for transgender people is crucial in the overall well-being of the individual, despite the narrative that gender-affirming care is harmful. Thank you for listening.